Good afternoon, Dr. Collins. This is not how you wanted it to be done, but I tried everything. I even allowed time for it to be figured out, but I don't have the recording option on my Zoom, and I looked it up, I can't figure it out at all. Like, it's non existent. I've tried everything, and I can't get it. So, this is going to be my recording of my presentation. I have notes on some of these because I couldn't fit it all here on like one or two of my slides. So, I'm really sorry, but I'll get up and close and personal and I'll give you the full review. Okay? Grab your popcorn because we're in for a treat. So, I did mine over long-term effects of concussions and brain injuries. And it has it on there. There's the title and my name. Next. So, the significance of this is for long-lasting impact on the health, which kind of more in depth of it is even mild concussions can cause long-term issues like memory loss, focus problems, mood swings, balance difficulties, and increased risk of chronic conditions like CTE. So like all the things that football players and stuff like that are being found out with afterwards, like they could get help before that happens. So that's a good significance to learning about all this. Another one is athlete safety, which is high risk sports such as football, cheer, gymnastics, soccer, all baseball, really all sports have some sort of like high end impact or can to the head. So that's, we want to keep all our athletes safe. We don't want nobody getting hurt out here. They require awareness and updated safety protocols to protect athletes. And then informs better decisions. So it helps coaches, trainers, and medical staff make safer return to play, recovery, and care decisions. So if they know more about what goes on with brain injuries and stuff like that, then they can help take better care of athletes, which is their job. So we know we always want to do better with our jobs, so it helps them. Educational and mental health importance. It recognizes learning difficulties and emotional challenges that can follow head injuries. So like, as I did research and stuff like that, it can decrease your mental health, and with athletes, like you really want them to be in the best headspace, because if they're not in the best headspace, then like their confidence and everything can just lessen, and then that can go in turn go into how they play. And you don't want some of your best athletes or your good athletes to, or just any of your athletes to just slowly dwindle down into nothing because they're having problems. We don't want that. We want them to grow. And then another significance is influences the policies and care. So it drives for more updates in sports safety rules, medical guidelines, insurance practices, and legal actions. So that kind of just goes and ties into like with helping out the coaches and the trainers, and bringing more awareness to like protocols and stuff like that. But it needed a thing all on its own. So our next one that we have is of our first article review that we did, called Concussion Beyond the Cascade. And the summary of this article is it just discusses how the concussions are a complex, or can cause complex biological effects beyond what the traditional neurometabolic cascade, quotes, explains. It can highlight the information like the blood flow issues that happen whenever you have trauma to your head, and neurological damage that can persist long after an injury. It stresses the need for better diagnostic tools and personalized treatment options for concussions. So like your brain is just this one big huge muscle, and like it's the mitochondria of the body. That's how I like to think of it. So like there's so much that can go wrong and go unnoticed because there's so much that happens all in there, and like one little tiny thing that you don't see can just mess up a whole lot. So it just kind of like gives you a better understanding of why we need to really look for more into all this stuff. And then value to me as a coach, it reminds me that head injuries can have invisible long-term effects on athletes. So like you can't always see when an athlete is hurt, so you really have to like prioritize like making sure that they're getting the right treatment, and you're really just paying attention to everything and advocate for the athlete's safety. Like we like believe them when they're saying something's wrong, and just kind of dig deeper from there and figure out what's real, what's not. It raised the question for me about how many injuries in cheer might go unnoticed, because we're always told to just, oh well, get over it, push through. I'm running out of time. Okay, my second one is neurophysiological profile of traumatic brain injury patients with medical cases, and it's a pilot case. The summary of this is the study evaluated cognitive issues like memory, attention, executive function with patients with brain injuries or traumatic brain injuries involved in legal cases. Most showed lasting mental challenges that impacted daily life and job performance. The article stressed the importance of neuropsychological evaluations in legal and healthcare decisions. So there's like a lot of things that like go on a day-to-day that like can be messed up if you have a traumatic brain injury, and it can go unnoticed, and like it like changes the way that your brain functions half the time if it's that serious. So a lot of times like in legal cases it goes unnoticed because it wasn't whatever, and then they get blamed for something that they tried to help but they really couldn't. It's not who they are. Value to me, it taught me that even if an athlete seems fine, mental struggles may linger after a head injury. As a coach, I need to support athletes emotionally and academically too, not just physically. It made me wonder how many cheerleaders are silently coping with this issue. So like I need to be there for them, not just for their body health, but like everything else. And if they're having issues because of it, then like it needs to be addressed. Slide number 5, the Enigma Sports Injury Working Group, an international collaboration to further our understanding of sport-related brain injury. So this one talked about, the article introduced the Enigma Sports Injury Working Group, which is a global research project combining brain imaging and clinical data to study the effects of sport-related head injuries. It aims to improve injury diagnosis, treatment, and return to play guidelines for athletes worldwide. So basically like it kind of gives a better understanding of like what to look for, what we need to like do in order to get those athletes back to 100%. Like you're not always going to be 100%, but try and get them the best that they can. Yeah, I lost where I was going, but you know. Value to me as a coach, it confirmed my belief that cheerleading injuries deserve more serious research-based attention. Knowing groups like Enigma are improving safety guidelines reassures me that athlete protection is advancing. It made me ask how I can help push for safer cheer protocols at the college level. So at the college level, we're doing a bunch of like high end stuff. Like we're stacking 3-4 people up in the air, we're throwing them, they're doing tricks and stuff. So it's more common for girls to have a head injury. So it just kind of gives me a little bit more just a more awareness to it all. Slide 6, memory. I gotta hurry. Memory functioning. This is, okay, you'll see it. 3, the summary of it. The study tracked children who experienced severe TBIs for 7 years, finding many still struggled with memory, especially working and episodic memory. These challenges affected school independence and daily life. The authors argued for long-term follow-up care and so it just basically shows you how long, like how much it can affect. Value to me as a coach, it reminded me that brain injuries in childhood can affect athletes long after they arrive in college sports, and I'll need to pay more attention to like everything around everything instead of just how they look on the mat. And it also raised the question to me, how many college athletes still carry hidden effects from past injuries? The other one is summary, or the fourth or fifth one. I can't remember what we're on. The study found that people with a history of mild TBIs often have lasting problems with balance, coordination, executive function, like decision making, attention control. These issues can persist years after the injury and affect daily task, work, and sports participation. Basically, kind of like reiterating what the last article was talking about. And then it values me because, like, a lot of athletes can struggle silently and they're not being taken care of the way they need to be. So just a summary of everything. Concussions and brain injuries have long-term effects in balance, memory, focus, emotions, and decision making. Even mild injuries can cause problems that don't always appear right away. Coaches must prioritize athlete safety, education, all of everything. Advanced brain imaging and psychological testing are important for proper recovery and athletes' care. Large research groups are improving safety guidelines in concussion management worldwide, and childhood injuries can follow athletes into college, affecting their performance and well-being. This is important to me for, like, future-wise when I coach in college, just because it gives me a better understanding of how much I need to be looking into my athletes' care and not just telling them, like, get over it, like, we got things to do, we can't replace you. And then here are my references, and I will send this in to you. I'm so sorry I sent it this way. Hope you're having a great summer.